You read the same sentence 5 times. It finally clicks. You move on. 2 hours later, gone. Like it never happened. You start wondering if something's wrong with you. If you're just not smart enough for this. Here's the part nobody tells you. Your brain is supposed to forget. Forgetting isn't a bug, it's a survival feature. Your brain is ruthless about deleting anything it doesn't think you'll need again. This isn't about intelligence. It's about mechanics. And once you understand the mechanics, you can hijack them. You can force your brain to struggle in exactly the right way, and memorization stops feeling impossible. Most people think memory works like a computer. You save the information. It sits on a hard drive. You open the file later. That's completely wrong. Your brain doesn't save files. It reconstructs them every single time. Memory isn't retrieval, it's rebuilding from scratch, using fragments and cues. That's why rereading feels so good and works so badly. When you reread, the material feels familiar. Familiar feels like, I know this. It's a trap. Feeling familiar and being able to recall are two completely different systems. The fix is active recall, forcing your brain to reconstruct the answer instead of just recognizing it. This feels almost illegal, but here it is. The harder it feels to pull the memory out, the stronger that memory gets. Difficulty isn't failure. Difficulty is adaptation happening in real time. Testing yourself beats rereading every time. So here's a tool that takes active recall and turns it into a system. It's called the Blurting Method, and it's stupidly simple. For steps. Step 1. Study. Read your material once with full focus. No distractions. Step 2. Close. Shut the book. Close the tab. No peeking. Step 3. Blurt. Write down everything you remember. Everything. Messy, out of order, incomplete, doesn't matter. Just dump it onto the page as fast as you can. Step 4. Compare. Open the source back up. See what you missed. See what you got wrong. That gap between what you blurted and what was actually true is where the magic happens. You're not just reviewing information anymore. You're correcting errors and deeply encoding the correct version at the same time. That combination is what makes this method hit so much harder than passive studying ever could. Now let's talk timing, because timing changes everything. The 24-hour rule, memory doesn't fade gently. It falls off a cliff. Within a single day, you can lose the majority of what you just learned if you don't touch it again. So here's the schedule that fights back. Day 1, Day 2, Day 4, Day 7, Day 14. Space it out. Each review forces another reconstruction, and each one makes the memory more durable. Next, meaning hooks. Random information dies. Connected information survives. Don't memorize ADP as some floating vocabulary word. Picture it as a battery pack. Your cells swap it in and out for energy, over and over, all day long. The second you attach a raw fact to something you already understand, it stops being random. It becomes part of a network. And networks don't get deleted. Last, emotional intensity. Your brain has one filter for what stays and what goes. Does this matter? So raise the stakes on purpose. Teach the concept out loud like you're explaining it to a room. Set a timer and race the clock. Urgency and emotion are signals. They tell your brain, this one's important. Keep it. One more thing, and it might be the most important one. Your brain doesn't finish learning when you close the book. It finishes while you sleep. Deep sleep is when your brain replays what you studied and locks it in. Which means an all-nighter isn't dedication, it's neurological sabotage. You're skipping the exact step that makes everything else you did that day actually count. So stop measuring how well you're learning by hours spent studying. Start measuring it by what you can still recall 3 days later. That number doesn't lie. Here's the truth. Real memory was never about storage. It's reconstruction every time, on purpose. Now that you know how your brain actually learns, memorization is going to feel unfair.